Listen to me now, because this is not just another moment. This is sacred. This is divine. This is me, your Savior, Jesus, speaking directly to you. You did not stumble here by accident. This is not random. I called you here. I arranged every step that brought you to this moment, because today I need you to hear this. Your answer will arrive before this day ends. And I want you to know why. You've been waiting in rooms no one saw, in nights that felt endless, in prayers whispered from an exhausted heart. I have watched every second tick by, not as a distant observer, but as your Father, sitting beside you in the unseen hours. You thought the silence meant absence, but my presence was closer in the quiet than in the noise. I didn't forget. I didn't overlook you. You were not invisible to me. You were being refined, not rejected. The silence was sacred ground where your faith took root, where endurance was born, and where I whispered secrets into your spirit that only stillness could reveal. Today, that silence breaks not just with noise but with divine movement. The heavens have recorded the moment, and the countdown has ended. You are not in a delay anymore. You're in a divine delivery zone. Things are about to shift in ways you thought were impossible, because I am releasing what was withheld, not because you forced it, but because you stayed. You trusted when you had no proof. And now the silence is giving way to the sound of answered prayer. There is not a single tear that slipped from your eyes without my attention. I caught each one, like precious drops of worship, because I knew the weight behind them. You cried not out of weakness, but out of a heart too full of faith to pretend everything was okay. Your tears were prayers in liquid form, louder than words ever could be. I didn't let them hit the ground and vanish. I gathered them, counted them, and planted them. Yes, planted, because in my kingdom, tears don't disappear, they grow. I've been watering those seeds in secret. And now, they are breaking the surface. That harvest is here. The very pain that tried to drown you will become the platform from which I raise you. The very wound that made you weep will become the window where my glory shines through. Your weeping endured for a night, but beloved, joy comes in the morning, and I am the morning star. Watch what I do with what trying to break you. It will bloom with testimony, and the fragrance of your breakthrough will fill every place that once held the scent of sorrow. You've asked, why haven't you said anything, Lord? But I was speaking, just not in the way you expected. I was speaking through closed doors that protected you, through delays that preserved you, through pauses that positioned you. I was not withholding your answer. I was building it, customizing it, shaping it to fit not just your needs but your destiny. You see, you asked me for something you thought would be good, but I decided to give you something that would be glorious. My silence wasn't absence, it was strategy. I was working behind the scenes, rearranging circumstances, preparing hearts, influencing people you've never met yet, all to deliver something that would leave you breathless. I wasn't just working for your comfort. I was working for your calling. And today, my child, I want you to know, the answer is ready. It's wrapped in timing, that's perfect, and wisdom, that's eternal. And when it unfolds, you will understand why I waited. Because what I'm sending isn't just what you asked for. It's what will transform your whole journey forward. My precious one, I want you to understand something sacred today. Every moment that felt like I wasn't responding, every stretch of time that felt like nothing was happening, it was not a rejection of your request. It was preparation. I never abandoned your petitions. I was orchestrating something far bigger than what you had pictured. In those waiting seasons, while you were walking blindly through days and nights, still believing, still trusting, still choosing to worship with nothing in your hands, I was behind the veil, moving elements you couldn't see, aligning moments, softening hardened hearts, and creating divine intersections you'd never anticipate. You assumed the delay meant I was far away, but I was closer than your breath, more active than you imagined, weaving the fabric of an outcome that will outshine what you hoped for. I saw you continue when quitting was easier. I heard your whispered prayers when no one else knew the weight you carried. I watched as you kept showing up, even when results were invisible, and that kind of faith moves heaven into motion. You didn't realize it, but every step you took in obedience sent waves into realms far beyond your view. I was answering while you waited. I was building while you endured. And today, I need you to see it clearly. Your delay was not a dismissal. It was divine precision. I was removing obstacles that would have hindered you later. I was protecting you from outcomes that seemed good, but would have led to sorrow. I was ensuring that the answer I release into your life would not just bless you temporarily but anchor you in something eternal. Every moment of what felt like pause was infused with purpose. Your faithfulness in the quiet moved me deeply. And now, the curtain is lifting. The stage I was setting is ready. And what I am about to reveal will not only fulfill your longing but confirm in your heart that I was never late, never silent, never absent, just intentional. Get ready, because this next part of your journey is where I prove that your faith didn't just survive the delay, it shaped your destiny. There was a point, you remember it, where the weight felt unbearable, where everything in you whispered that maybe this wasn't going to work out, maybe this journey was meant to end in silence, maybe I wasn't going to come through. That moment wasn't hidden from me. I saw the exact second your heart clenched with disappointment, when your prayers felt like echoes, when weariness clouded your hope. But listen closely, that very second, when your voice trembled and your resolve thinned, was the same moment I issued the command in heaven, it's time. While you stood on the edge of surrender, I dispatched resources you couldn't see. I released angels on assignment. I sent confirmation into motion. I activated answers that had been ripening in sacred timing. My child, your breaking point was not your ending, it was the signal that breakthrough had to be accelerated. You were not alone in that moment. You were surrounded by the unseen. I wrapped you in grace to carry you one step further, because one more step was all it took to reach the edge of fulfillment. Do you understand? The moment your strength failed, mine took over. And I didn't just pick you up. I surged forward on your behalf. I rerouted interference, dismantled invisible blockades, and multiplied your small faith into a flood of divine intervention. What felt like a fall was actually a lift. What felt like abandonment was reinforcement. I never let you slip away from my gaze, not even for a heartbeat. And now, as this day unfolds, you're going to look back and realize that the second you almost gave up was the same second I accelerated everything. Because I will not allow your faith to expire in vain. I will not let despair define your journey. And I certainly will not let the enemy write the final sentence of your story. What you couldn't see in your weakest moment is now on its way, and when it arrives, you'll remember this truth. Heaven moved fastest when you felt the furthest behind. You may not have noticed it, but while you were hoping, I was preparing. I went ahead of you into rooms you haven't entered yet and whispered to hearts you don't even know. I touched minds with thoughts of favor toward you, stirred decisions that would soon intersect your path, and choreographed divine setups that no human effort could ever manufacture. I orchestrated timing with surgical precision, adjusting calendars, circumstances, and even delays to converge in a single unfolding moment of release. Nothing was random. Every unseen shift, every unexpected turn, was me making room for what is about to enter your life. I turned impossible odds into doorways. I turned barriers into bridges. I adjusted the flow of people and places to align perfectly with your destiny, even when you were unaware. You see, child, this isn't just about one answer. This is about an unlocking. There is a door that was once shut so tightly you began to think it was sealed forever. But what you didn't see was how many layers I was working through to prepare the other side. I wasn't just giving you an opportunity. I was preparing an atmosphere where your presence will be honored, not tolerated. I was ensuring that the moment the door opens, you wouldn't just enter, you'd belong. I made sure the people who once overlooked you would now recognize what I placed within you. I made sure your name would be brought up in conversations where you weren't present, not by accident but by divine instruction. I even removed some connections, not to punish you, but to clear the space for the ones I've appointed to walk with you in the next chapter. The door that's opening isn't just an answer to a request. It's an entrance into a dimension of purpose that has been waiting for your arrival. And now, the latch is clicking. The hinges are turning. The access is shifting. What felt like an eternal hallway of waiting is becoming the threshold of fulfillment. Don't blink. Don't second guess. Just be ready. Because what you prayed for is no longer on the way. It's here, and the door is swinging wide. My beloved, today will not end the way it began. You woke up wondering if anything would shift, hoping for a glimpse of progress, carrying questions you were too tired to speak out loud. But I have already dispatched what you've been waiting for, and it is traveling swiftly to meet you. You will not close your eyes tonight with the same weight you carried when this day opened. I have declared it. This day will deliver. I am placing something into your life that is not only timely, but overflowing. It won't be barely enough. It won't be partial. It won't be a fragile fix. It will be more than you dared to dream. You asked me to meet a need, but I am exceeding the request with overflow. What I am bringing to you is not just an answer. It's a testimony in motion. It will carry joy in its arrival, peace in its presence, and purpose in every detail. It has been wrapped in preparation, sealed with my intention, and marked with your name. You thought the request was small, but I saw how much it cost you to believe in silence, how many moments you chose trust over despair, how many times you chose to speak life when the atmosphere begged you to surrender. I measured that unseen perseverance, and I have multiplied your return. The answer you are about to receive carries my fingerprint, my timing, and my favor. It is not coming to impress others. It is coming to strengthen you, to remind you that I do not forget, that I do not fail, and that I always fulfill. Your hands may feel empty now, but before this day gives way to the night, they will hold what heaven released with your name written on it. Not one piece will be missing. Not one promise will be withheld. And when it comes, it will silence every doubt, calm every fear, and awaken every part of your heart that dared to hope when it seemed foolish. Watch it. Wait. Stay expectant. Because you are not ending this day without a deposit from heaven itself. My child, while your eyes may still search for evidence, I want you to understand what your spirit is already sensing. The stirring has begun. Just because your physical surroundings appear unchanged doesn't mean movement hasn't started. What's happening right now goes beyond what sight can verify. I am shifting things in the unseen dimension, rearranging the invisible structure that will soon give birth to visible change. You're standing on sacred ground, though you can't feel the tremble beneath your feet. I have summoned angels to act. I have commanded what was dormant to awaken. I have reignited the embers of promises that once felt extinguished. Even the atmosphere around you is responding to the alignment I've set into motion. While you continue to walk in obedience, even when results seem delayed, know this: your faith is opening channels in the spirit that are now flooding with divine instruction. Situations that looked sealed are being reopened. Opportunities that passed you by are circling back with a new label: appointed. You have not missed anything I intended for you. You've just been maturing into the moment meant to carry it. And now, that moment is drawing near. In the realm where my authority speaks and nothing returns void, I've already said yes. I've already given the word. I've already finalized what you're still waiting to see. It's coming, not in pieces, not in fragments, but in fullness. It will land with clarity and purpose. And when it does, your soul will recognize it, because I've been whispering its arrival into your spirit during your quietest prayers. You are about to watch as what I've spoken into the invisible begins to shape the visible world around you. Don't let silence deceive you. Don't let delays mislead you. Everything I promised is in motion, even when your natural senses say otherwise. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Because I am crafting the bridge from the realm of promise into the land of fulfillment, and you're already closer than you think. You looked at that situation and called it over. You closed the book, wiped the tears, and tried to accept that maybe it just wasn't meant to be. That door slammed so loudly in your past that even now, its echo still lingers in your mind. You assumed that chapter was finished, signed off, forgotten. But hear me now. I never declared it finished. I allowed it to pause. What you perceived as final was only a divine intermission. There was more I needed to do in the background, in hearts, in timing, in the growth of your soul, before I could breathe life into it again. I let you walk away, not because I abandoned the promise, but because I was preparing it for a re-entry with greater power. That same place where you once experienced rejection, disappointment, or silence, that's where I'm about to pour restoration like rain on dry ground. I am returning to what you thought was behind you, but I'm not bringing you back to relive pain. I'm revisiting it to redeem it. I will turn that failed opportunity into a new testimony. I will bring healing where hurt was planted, laughter where sorrow was rooted, and open doors where only walls once stood. Do not fear the revisit. Do not resist the return. I am not bringing you backward. I am completing what was interrupted. And when I place you in that space again, whether it's a relationship, a calling, a dream, or a place, it will no longer resemble what once broke you. It will carry peace, clarity, and favor that was missing the first time. You'll walk in not wounded but wiser. You'll speak, not with fear, but with authority. And the environment will no longer have the power to define you, because this time, you'll enter with my presence leading the way. I'm the God who resurrects, who rewrites, who revives what others buried. And the situation you closed the book on. Watch as I reopen it, not to repeat the past, but to redeem the future. I know you've been questioning if all your faithfulness has been heard, if all your waiting has counted for anything, if the hours spent trusting when nothing changed have truly mattered. I hear your silent wondering. But today, yes, this very day, I am releasing a sign. It won't be hidden. It won't be vague. It will be clear, unmistakable, and divinely personal, tailored in such a way that you will have no doubt it came from me. I want you to pay attention, because I will speak through the natural, but the message will carry supernatural weight. It may come through a conversation, a sudden shift in atmosphere, an unexpected message, or an open opportunity that appears from nowhere. But know this, it is me. I am not bound to thunder or fire to prove myself to you. I often arrive in the whisper, in the stillness, in the seemingly ordinary moment that glows with heavenly fingerprints. Your long nights of pressing through confusion and clinging to promises others abandoned, they have not been in vain. I watched you persevere when walking away would have been easier. I saw the strength it took to believe, with nothing to confirm it. And now, I will confirm it. I am not only a God who speaks, I am a God who shows. And today, I will show you that I have been here all along, crafting details, organizing breakthrough, and preparing a public declaration of my private commitment to you. You will see something shift, something align, something begin, and it will be the signal your soul has longed for. Not because you begged for proof, but because I delight in reminding my children that their faith is not wasted. When this day draws to its close, you will know without question, heaven heard. The wait mattered, and I am closer than your breath, proving in action what I have whispered in love. Watch for it. Expect it. Because before the sun slips behind the horizon, my hand will move, and your spirit will rejoice in knowing it was me. There have been moments, I know them well, where the pressure on your soul wasn't just weariness from waiting, but the targeted attack of darkness trying to extinguish your hope. The enemy studied your journey, watched your steps, and tried to insert lies when you were most vulnerable. He whispered that nothing would change. He tried to convince you that you were forgotten, that your prayers floated into empty skies. He wrapped discouragement around you like a cloak, hoping you'd lay down your faith and walk away before the breakthrough arrived. What you didn't. You may have stumbled, you may have cried, you may have questioned, but you never let go of me. And that, my beloved, is where the real victory happened. Your endurance, tested in private, is now about to be celebrated in the open. I am not blind to the warfare you endured in silence. I saw the nights you couldn't sleep because the weight of spiritual resistance sat heavy on your chest. I watched as you pushed forward anyway, praying when you were drained, believing when you were broken, encouraging others even when your own heart was gasping for hope. That kind of faith, raw, real, costly, reaches the throne like thunder. And I responded, Araru bidi bararu justice. Today, your endurance is being honored in heaven and answered on earth. I am responding with more than what you thought you needed. I am releasing a portion that matches the intensity of the battle you fought. The attacks weren't signs of your failure. They were signs of your significance. Hell doesn't target what isn't a threat. The pressure you endured was proof that the promise on your life is powerful. And now, the tables have turned. The enemy who tried to silence you will witness your restoration. The voices that tried to drown your purpose will fall silent in the presence of what I pour out upon you. You don't need to fight for visibility. Your faith already made you seen. Your reward won't just be what you held on to. It will be the overwhelming goodness I'm about to unleash because you didn't quit. You endured. And I never forgot. When you first came to me with your request, your heart was sincere, your intentions pure, and your hope anchored in what you could see. But my beloved, you were praying from your current understanding, and I, in my love, have always been preparing for your future. What you asked of me was not too small, it was just incomplete. You desired what made sense in the moment, but I looked ahead. I saw where you need strength you didn't yet know you require. I saw seasons ahead where deeper provision would be necessary. And so, while you prayed for the next step, I began forming a foundation for the entire journey. You asked for a door, I am constructing a corridor. You asked for a drop, I am releasing a flood. You longed for peace in one area, I am ushering in wholeness across many. I am answering you with more than relief, I am delivering with attention. This is not about a single solution. It is about a shift. Your life is not merely being patched up, it's being propelled forward. And this momentum, this divine push I am releasing, will not only answer your now, but sustain you in the chapters that are still waiting to unfold. I know what's coming even when you don't. I know where you'll need extra provision, unexpected strength, hidden opportunities. And because I love you, I plan beyond your words. I designed a response that includes resources, relationships, wisdom, and doors that haven't even been revealed yet. You didn't pray wrong, you prayed honestly. And now I'm showing you what happens when heaven expands the boundaries of what earth requested. My gift is not just precise, it's prophetic. It's ahead of you, ahead of time, ahead of the storm you will never have to face because I already redirected it. What's coming will surprise you not because it's unfamiliar, but because it will make you realize how well I know you. I'm not meeting your prayer, I'm outpacing it. Because I am the God who does exceedingly, abundantly above all that you asked, and I always will be. You've been watching the usual paths, waiting for the answer to walk through the obvious route, but today, I want you to widen your awareness. My voice is not bound to predictability. My movement doesn't always follow the rhythm you've grown familiar with. I am speaking today, not through thunder or flashing lights, but through subtle shifts, surprising moments, and encounters that may at first seem ordinary. Listen closely. I'm drawing your attention toward the things you might overlook. That stranger who offers a word that feels strangely timely. That sudden change in a conversation. That delay that frustrates you. Those may be the very avenues I've chosen to speak into your life. You've been asking for confirmation, and I am responding, but I need you to look beyond what you expect. I am not limited by format. I can use interruptions to bring revelation. I can use detour to point you toward direction. I can speak through creation, circumstances, even silence. I can send a message into your heart through the song you almost skipped or the moment you almost dismissed. What you've called coincidence, I've been orchestrating with precision. I know how your heart listens. I know the tone your spirit responds to. And because of that, I've woven my message into the fabric of your day in places you haven't thought to look. Don't get so focused on what you think the answer should look like that you miss the one I'm actually sending. Be still enough to recognize my fingerprints, sensitive enough to catch my whisper, and humble enough to admit that I might choose an unconventional road to deliver a perfect word. The answer is not just on the way. It's already brushing against the edges of your reality. Your ability to discern will determine how quickly you receive it. I will speak in ways that bypass logic but awaken your spirit. And when you recognize it, when you catch the subtle miracle tucked inside the unexpected, you'll understand why I didn't come the way you thought I would. I came the way you needed. There are days that pass quietly, fading into memory without leaving a mark. But not today. Today is different. Today is etched into the timeline of your life with heavenly significance. You may not yet feel how sacred this moment is, but I do. I have appointed this day as a divine collision between what has been promised and what is being released. Before this day was ever formed, I had written its purpose in eternity. And now, you are walking through hours that are saturated with the presence of heaven itself. You've cried for encounters. You've longed for reassurance. You've yearned to feel me close in a way you can't deny, and today, I am answering that desire. Not only with a feeling, but with undeniable impact. The veil between the spiritual and the natural is thinning, and I am stepping into your space with evidence of my nearness. I am not just bringing breakthrough. I am bringing tangible confirmation of my love. Something will shift today, not only in your surroundings, but deep within your soul. A peace you've never known will take root. A clarity that seemed out of reach will suddenly appear. A weight you didn't know you were carrying will lift, and the lightness will surprise you. This isn't just a nice day, it's a marked one. This will be the kind of day you look back on and say, everything changed when heaven showed up. Because it will. I'm orchestrating encounters, unlocking understanding, and opening your spirit to receive me in fuller measure. You won't need a loud sign or dramatic display to recognize it. You'll feel it in the stillness, sense it in the atmosphere, and know it in your heart. My presence will interrupt your routine with sacred purpose. My voice will quiet the storm of your thoughts, and my hand will trace blessings across this day that only you and I will fully understand. This isn't about impressing others or proving anything. This is about you and me. It's about the love I have for you, the promise I've made to you, and the joy I take in surprising you with my goodness. By the time the sun sets, this day will carry a story, and you, my child, will be the living proof that heaven didn't just observe your life from afar. It entered in, touched it, and left nothing the same. There is coming a moment, closer now than it's ever been, when what you've waited for will finally arrive. And when it does, you won't be able to explain it with logic, coincidence, or timing. It will be too precise, too personal, too perfect to be anything other than my hand moving for you. And in that moment, when it all clicks into place and you realize the weight has lifted, the door has opened, the answer has landed, you will whisper those words not out of obligation, but all. Only Jesus could have done this. I have been watching you closely, not with scrutiny, but with affection. I've seen your inner battles, the tug-of-war between hope and exhaustion, the way you've tried to stay strong while your heart quietly cracked beneath the pressure. I noticed every time you chose to believe despite not seeing the fruit of your faith. And though I may have seemed quiet at times, never once did I turn my ear from your voice. Every word, every groan, every sigh, I heard them all. I was with you in every pause, every wait, every moment where it felt like heaven held its breath. And now, I am answering not only the request, but the trust that carried it. You will see the result and know instantly that it wasn't your strength, your strategy, or your striving that made it happen. It was me. I stepped in at the exact moment when you were out of options. I created a path where there was none. I reversed what looked irreversible. And when it unfolds, the impact will be undeniable. It will touch more than your circumstances. It will awaken something inside of you. You will feel seen, known, loved in a way that no one else could ever provide. And that's the beauty of how I work. I don't just answer prayer. I reveal myself. Your story will carry a moment that cannot be erased, a timestamp in your spirit that testifies forever. This was the day Jesus responded. And I will rejoice with you, not because I had to prove anything, but because I've waited with you for this moment. I've longed to see your eyes light up with joy again, to watch peace wrap around your shoulders like a long-lost friend. And when it happens, when the answer is finally in your hands, don't forget that I've been here all along. I didn't just arrive with the solution. I walked with you every mile that led to it. I celebrated your small steps. I held you through the heavy nights. And now, I get to reveal what I've been preparing since the first day you believed. This is the turning point. This is the day you'll point to for the rest of your life and say, that's when everything changed. And I'll smile because I never left. I never stopped listening. I was just waiting for the perfect time to do what only I could do. For you. Amen.